Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we are playing SpongeBob SquarePants SuperSponge for the Game Boy Advance. This game consists of 12 achievements worth 48 points on the RetroAchievements website. I'm pretty sure I've played a lot of SpongeBob games back in the day, but I cannot remember this one. The story takes place in Bikini Bottom. I mean, where else? It's almost Patrick's birthday and we need to find him the perfect gift. SpongeBob gets the idea to ask for a signed photo from his favorite superheroes, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. They agree, but nothing is for free, as Barnacle Boy makes me do several tasks by collecting items for Mermaid Man. And the first request is to make him a sandwich. We move into the first level, Jellyfish Fields, where we have to collect some jellyfish jelly. After Squidward gives us a quick education on how to use our jellyfish net, we can start Chapter 1, Level 1. SpongeBob has a pretty simple moveset. We can jump, ground pound, and karate chop enemies. SpongeBob also has a whole arsenal of power-ups, but that's for later. The enemies in this game are somewhat strange. These are not things I've ever seen in the SpongeBob series, and the animations are a bit finicky. I'm starting to notice why I've never seen or played this game before. But hey, it's a Game Boy game from 2001, what can you expect? In this game, we can also collect golden spatulas, and if we collect 50 of them, we get an extra life. Speaking of extra lives, collecting SpongeBob's underwear also gives us an extra life. I mean, if I had to fight these terrifying looking snails and that fart-clawed gassy enemy, I'd also need new underwear to be honest. We can also collect various fast food related items to restore our HP, like fries, a milkshake or a soda, and a Krabby Patty to instantly replenish our health back to 100. We make our way toward the end of the level where we find the jellyfish jelly, and finish this level with SpongeBob giving us a thumbs up. On to the next level, Sandy's Tree Dome, where we have to collect some sea nut butter. This level adds a new mechanic. We have to make our way to the top of the tree, but SpongeBob forgot his helmet filled with water. But luckily, Sandy installed hydration stations so we can get some fresh
Water would be nice.
We have a total of 20 seconds to get from one hydration station to another, because if we don't, this happens. We dry completely out and SpongeBob dies. So we jump from tree branch to tree branch, and we even make use of birds' heads to get a small jump boost. We pick up another underwear for an extra life, and make our way to the top so we can collect the sea nut butter, ending the level. Now our sandwich is almost ready. First, we have to go to Fishhook Park to get some bread. What would a sandwich be without bread? Here we have to be careful not to fall into the pits that one-shot us and instantly reduce one life. Luckily, we have these fish hooks we can stand on to cross pits, but we can't stay on them for too long or we'll get pulled up to the surface and also lose a life instantly, just like in the series. We also meet a new enemy here, a clam that jump upwards when we get too close. But if we just wait a little bit, it's pretty easy to dodge. We collect the bread and we end the level, going into the next stage, downtown Bikini Bottom, where we have to collect the last piece of the sandwich, some kelp lettuce. This level is divided into two layers. The ground layer puts us on the street, where we have to dodge incoming traffic because we cannot destroy the cars. We also have to be careful not to get pushed into the manholes. On the roof layer, we get nothing but rewards. We get golden spatulas, some underwear for extra lives, and some fast food items to replenish our HP. Once we collect the kelp lettuce, we get challenged by the first boss, a giant jellyfish. We also use our first power-up here, the jellyfish net. With it, we can catch small jellyfish and throw them at the big one to deal damage. On the right, you can see his health bar. The boss pattern is really simple. He follows us around, and if we stand still for too long, we get zapped. And when we throw the last jellyfish at its base, we defeat the boss and get our first achievement. That's one big jellyfish. We return to Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy and we give them the sandwich. They make up another excuse to get rid of us and say Mermaid Man needs some extra pampering. We have to get him some kelp cream and a facial. Excuse me? Barnacle Boy quickly adds, "It's not for me." Sure buddy. we head into the next level, Cavernous Canyons. Mr. Krabs teaches us how to use our next power-up, the Leaf Blower. With it, we can suck up coral and shoot it at enemies. In Chapter 2.1, we have to collect kelp cream. The enemies haven't changed much, and it looks like we're in some sort of cave with pits full of spikes that one-shot us. A bit later in the level, we find a leaf blower, giving us the Time for Work achievement. Now we can suck up coral and fire it at enemies. The downside is that we don't have an inventory, so we can only hold one coral at a time. We immediately use our power-up to shoot down a pufferfish. Maybe Mrs. Puff's husband? I don't know. We move toward the end of the level, finish a small parkour segment, we grab the kelp cream, and we end the level. Next up is Chapter 2.2, Thermal Tunnels. Patrick asks if you want an extra balloon from his birthday, and that gives us another power-up. In this level, we have to collect a loofah. There are landmines that I don't think we can destroy, but we can tank their damage. I'm not too worried about it because the levels are scattered with health pickups. After dodging a SpongeBob-style thwomp, we find Patrick's balloon. Picking it up gives us the Straight from Glove World achievement. With the balloon, we fall slower, but it doesn't give us any real benefit since we can't jump higher with it, so it's kind of useless. A bit later, we pick up more underwear for an extra life. We can switch up our balloon power with the jellyfish net. But I changed my mind quickly and picked up the balloon again, because I thought I would need it later in the level. We make our way to the end and we grab the loofah. Next up is the Acrid Air Pockets, where we have to collect a mud pack. The level is pretty much the same as the last one. We collect more spatulas to reach 50 and we get another extra life, bringing us total to 10 lives, earning us the SpongeBob Underpants achievement. We also meet a new enemy here, the Filthy Bubble. We can't really defeat him, so we just dodge him. We grab another balloon, we destroy some more enemies, and we finally collect the mud pack to end the level. Up next is Lava Fields, where we have to collect Mermaid Man's false teeth. I have no idea how there's an active lava flowing underwater, but the SpongeBob series have proven many times it does not obey the laws of physics. We also have to watch out for the fire shooting up from the ground. This level is really short. We cross platforms, we fight a new rolling snail enemy that pushes us into the lava, which cost me way more lives than I'd like to admit, but eventually we make it to the end. When we pick up the false teeth, a giant robotic anglerfish spawns, our second boss. He dashes at us, and when he stops, we karate chop him to deal damage. He can also move left to right and shoot torpedoes upwards, which are pretty annoying and pretty difficult to dodge, to be honest. But luckily, there's a Krabby Patty right there to refill our HP back to 100. After the final hit, we defeat the boss and get the "What's a robot anglerfish doing here anyway" achievement. We deliver the next package to Barnacle Boy. He tells us they need new uniforms, and for some reason we have to go back in time to prehistoric Bikini Bottom. I have no idea why, but maybe that's the joke because they're so old. I have no idea. We use Plankton's time machine and we go back in time. Mr. Krabs explains our new power-up, the Jellyfish Launcher. We enter Chapter 3.1, where we must collect underwear for their uniforms. I'm starting to understand why I've never heard or played this game. All the levels are pretty much the same, just with different backgrounds. But hey, at least the soundtrack is good. We pick up the Jellyfish Launcher and we get the Jellyfish Cruelty achievement. After grabbing ammo, we can shoot 10 jellyfish at enemies. Honestly, this is one of the better power-ups, if not even the best. Golden spatulas are scattered on trees here, as well as health and ammo. A little bit later, we find Mermaid Man's underwear. Good thing his underwear is on M for Mini and not W for Wumbo. Next is Desert Wastelands, where you have to collect the Scallop Bra. In this stage, I learn how useful the ground pound actually is. I kind of slept on it, but better late than never. We cross the level easily, defeating some more enemies and jumping over lava pools. And at the end of the level, we get the Scallop Bra. Next up is Chapter 3.3, the Kelpozoic Jungle. Patrick explains a new power-up to us. We have to collect Mermaid Man's slippers here. At the start, we immediately get the new power-up, earning the Blowing Bubbles achievement. We can blow bubbles and use them as platforms to reach higher places or cross pits. For some reason, the bubbles aren't being recorded, so we have to deal with invisible bubbles here. Great. We continue to the end of the level, we destroy some more enemies, and we collect the slippers. Next level is we head inside the whale. I don't know how or why we're suddenly inside a whale, but there's nothing really special here. We keep going until we find a starfish mask, and picking it up triggers our third boss fight. This boss fight is the hardest in my opinion. We fight a snake-like creature that swims towards us and circles around us. Every time we hit it, it loses a piece of its body and it gets faster. When it's down to one hit, it gets pretty difficult. But we save the Krabby Patty for when we really need it. Finally, we beat it and we get the Exiting the Whale achievement for defeating the boss. We take the time machine back to the present and deliver Mermaid Man's new uniform. Barnacle Boy is getting fed up with us, so he sends us to what he thinks is an impossible task, getting him a kelp candy bar only found in Rock Bottom. If you've seen the episode, you know how that went. In chapter 4.1, we have to collect a coin. We pick up our trusty jellyfish launcher and we navigate through the landmines. Luckily, they block the bottomless pits, so they kind of protect us from losing one life. A little bit later in the level, we get our first flower-shaped coin. Chapter 4, level 2 now, Lonely Souls. Here, we have to get the second coin, because a kelp bar apparently costs more than one. This level introduces us to two new enemies. We have this blue fish that slowly walks towards us, nothing difficult about him, but we also get this starfish. Once we are in its range, he flings himself at us. It can be a little tricky to dodge, and there doesn't seem to be any way to defeat them. The levels are pretty much the same now. Defeat some enemies and jump over gaps. It seems like the devs lost a little creativity here. It doesn't take us long since we are at our next coin. Picking it up ends the level. Next level is the graveyard, and here we have to collect the third coin. Who could have guessed? This level has a pretty spooky vibe, with this background and skulls being scattered around the map. But it seems like these levels are getting shorter and shorter. We just keep going towards the right, jumping over gaps and defeating enemies like usual, until we find our third coin. Now on to chapter 4.4, the last stop. No more new power-ups, we have had them all, and there is only one annoying part in this level that cost me a bunch of lives. The stupid fish pushing me in the pit over and over again, losing me about 6 lives in a row. I don't know if it was my impatientness or tiredness kicking in, but I eventually make it over. The rest of the level is pretty easy and straightforward. I don't want to know how many sea creatures we have killed in this game, but let's just say it was self-defense. A bit further in the level, we pick up the last coin, immediately spawning the boss fight of this chapter, the Flying Dutchman. His pattern is also pretty easy. He teleports from left to right, and we just have to hit him before he teleports away. If we are too late, he spawns some green jellyfish to attack us. But luckily, that only happened once in this fight. After defeating the boss, we get the started from the top, now we're at rock bottom achievement. We see SpongeBob buy the candy bar and deliver it to his favorite superheroes. For the last task, we have to collect material to repair his TV, so they can watch their favorite cartoon again. We head into chapter 5, level 1, Jellyfish Fields. Here we have to get the hammer. Nothing new here in this level, just the background being a bit different and more polluted with oil. They are reusing the level design a lot here, but we just make our way towards the end, picking up the hammer and ending the level. Next chapter, 5.2, Man Ray's Lair. Here we have to collect the TV antenna. This has to be one of the shortest, if not the shortest level in the game. So I just want to take this time and say, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, it would mean so much to me. Let me know in the comments what your favorite part was and let me know which game you want to see next. I'd really appreciate it. We pick up the antenna and we end the level. Up next is the oil rig. I'm starting to think this is a bad SpongeBob game. Although the earlier levels were pretty fun with the power-ups, but now it's just starting to get repetitive. We keep collecting some more golden spatulas, and it gives us the collection of spatulas achievements for collecting 500 of them throughout the whole game. We go through the level, defeating some more enemies and doing some parkour until we find the oil can, ending the level. Now chapter 5.4, the final level of the game, and I'm not mad about it. The canning factory. Here we have to collect the monkey wrench. Here we are above sea level on some sort of ship. SpongeBob is wearing his helmet filled with water. This time he didn't forget it. We have to dodge deadly buzzsaws trying to saw us in half and swinging anchors trying to knock us unconscious. We also have to make our way over a conveyor belt trying to hold us back. We see that the end is near because we can see our final item, the monkey wrench. But before we pick it up, we try to get another trophy. When we are idle, SpongeBob makes a funny face. And when we've seen all his faces, we get the many faces of SpongeBob achievements. Now we can pick up the wrench and we can spine the final boss fight. I'm really curious who it is. It is this dog fish with human arms. I don't know why they just didn't pick Plankton or Man Ray or something, because I have never seen this creature in my life. We try to do as much damage possible as we can by ground pounding on his head, and when we get low on life, luckily there's another Krabby Patty laying around we can use to refill our HP back to 100. His attack pattern is pretty simple. He has a dash that's easy to dodge, and then he has a tail slam that makes rocks fall from the ceiling. These are a bit trickier to dodge, but the overall fight is pretty simple, especially with the HP refill laying around. After defeating the final boss, we get the Happy Birthday Patrick achievement. We finish the game and get all the achievements in a little over 1 hour. It's a pretty fun, short, simple game. The achievements have nice art and good names, but the game itself is unfortunately a little bit repetitive, especially the later levels, but I'd still give it a good 6 out of 10. But we fixed Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's TV, completing every single task for them, and they finally give us the signed picture for Patrick's birthday gift. We get a cute ending screen of all his friends showing up for his party. Even Squidward showed up. The only one missing is Patrick himself. But that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did playing it. I want to thank the Retro Achievements community for making this possible, and especially to Marcus Vinicius for creating this set. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.